We certainly are here as a memorial to the lives that have been lost to abortion, but there's also a time to be thankful and to celebrate the lives that have been saved through the actions of many, many individual pro-lifers and many pro-life groups. Our next speaker, Esther Ripplinger, is the founder of Oregon's chapter of Silent No More. Silent No More is a coalition of women across the country who have bravely stepped forward to tell their stories, to reveal the pain and anguish that abortion leaves a woman in. And she has made an amazing difference in Oregon, and now we've lost her to the state of Washington, but she's as active as ever there as a peer counselor and working with the Silent No More in the state. Please join me in welcoming Esther Ripplinger.
My baby is one of the 50 million lost due to abortion since 1973. It happened a few blocks from where I'm standing today. She is among those who deserve to be remembered. It wasn't her fault that I was a pregnant and scared 19-year-old. At first, my boyfriend and I were excited to have our baby together, but later he told me to get an abortion and said, "We can have another one someday." I look back and see how much influence he had over my life that he would make me choose between him and my baby. I had no support to think or do otherwise, so I put my mind into autopilot and made the call. At the abortion facility, I hoped for a way out. I asked about the baby's stage of development, and the worker told me it's just a blob of tissue. I didn't know that my baby already had hands and tiny feet and a beating heart. She proceeded to sell me the abortion as a quick, routine, painless procedure. I took that to mean to proceed. You see, I wanted to be deceived. It was much easier to go with the flow. I asked about the pain, and she said most girls just feel a pinch. You'll be fine. But as I was on the table, I was in excruciating pain. I felt the sting of death in my most tender part of my body. A woman assisted me toward a cot to lie down for a while, and though hardly able to move, it was already time to leave. Another girl needed my spot on that busy day. Even though I tried to forget, my body did not forget the trauma. I began to have nightmares. I experienced extreme anxiety over the vacuum cleaner. And later I realized that it reminded me of the sound of the abortion machine. I did poorly in school. I suffered from anxiety, and my friends would not listen. They didn't care. They said, "It's done, it's in the past. Put it behind you and move on." And so I did just that. I stuffed my feelings. I used drugs and alcohol to numb my emotional pain. There was a quickie marriage, but it ended soon after. Later, I avoided meaningful relationships. I had trouble making decisions. I became numb to life. Years passed, and a kind and compassionate man said he wishes he could have been there for me during that time, so I married him. When we had our son, I feared he would die. I tried to make everything perfect. Everything seemed to be fine because I was in denial. I became depressed, especially during a certain time of the year, and later I realized that it was the anniversary of the abortion. I entertained thoughts of suicide. One day I heard a woman share her story of which I could relate, and I realized I was not alone. When I talked to her, she told me about HEART. It stands for Healing Encouragement for Abortion-Related Trauma. It is a 14-week Bible study support group. And the confidential phone is 503-22-HEART, 503-22-HEART. I realized my time had come to put this matter to rest, and I was ready to seek healing. Together with a group of 6 women, we met in a safe and confidential environment. And there I was finally free to grieve and bestow dignity to my unborn child. The program changed my life, and I began to find joy. Our son is now 17 years old, a fine young man. I look back at how these years have flown. I think of how I could have made it work with my daughter before him. When we're young, we only see the here and now. I got caught up in the panic of it all. I didn't think of getting help, but now I wish I had. I wish I would have fought to save her. And by saving her, I could have saved myself a lot of heartache that followed. I miss my baby as we sit at the table as a family, and when I do dishes. But now I give myself permission to think about her, and now I have peace. I thank everyone for coming and being part of the solution to this tragedy. Together, we can continue doing what is right and be assured that our combined efforts will be effective to change hearts one at a time. Don't be afraid to speak the truth in love. Share healing resources to those who need it. Let's normalize the need to grieve and process our poor choices, remembering that the truth will set us free. I believe in you, and I predict that the flame will thaw those cold hearts. Your passion and priority for life will prevail, and we will see the day when abortion will be unthinkable. Thank you. God bless you all.